And I see a lot of people that are kind of doing everything solo. And it's like, it's hard because you have to be the smartest person in the room on 20 different topics and do the work of 20 different people. And it can be very stressful that way. And so it almost speaks to, like it makes me think about like when we have our convention, the reason we have our convention is because community is wealth. When you have people literally, this is pure economic theory. There's theory on this that when the more you have community and people that are all in the same direction, that are helping each other, sharing ideas, sharing networks, sharing resources, investing in each other, working with each other, etc., you're literally compiling wealth. Like so, you and I talking to each other. You help me solve problems. I help you. I introduce you to my friends. You introduce me to yours. I invest in things you're doing. You invest in things I'm doing. Then boom, next thing you know, opportunities sort of emerge from that. And I kind of think, that this should be like a core value, right? I almost feel like
Hmm.
there's something about being black. In fact, I have a theory, and I want to get your thoughts on this. I was thinking about this morning. I think about random stuff in the morning, and I was thinking about how I'm getting tired of like this sort of exceptional Negro theory that's sort of been laid out for black people that are trying to like become black faces in high places. But you're going into this organization. Tell everybody in the chat, let me know if you're following me on this. You go into this organization where they'll be like, we got 80 people in the department and only one black guy, right? And everybody's just trying to be that one black guy. And so when you see another black guy, you're like that guy in Django Unchained, Samuel Jackson. What's that nigga doing on that horse? Like, I say doing on that nag, right? Like you're jealous, you're fighting the people that should be your allies. And I think that a lot of that comes from going into these spaces, committing to these spaces where there's only room for one or two of us. You and I, me and Lawrence Hodges are competing for the same job. Lawrence is not my collaborator. Lawrence is my competitor. I don't think that's the most efficient way to go about achieving community success. What do you think?
Really agree. And that's the thing is if we got away from like the crab in the bucket mentality, whether it's in corporate or entrepreneurship, because there's so much opportunity that everybody can have a piece of it. Supporting one another is so necessary. The collective economics theory is we really do need to get back to that, but it is, it's competitive when you're in corporate America. It's a Shark Tank, and you're fighting for that next level up. Whether it's with your black counterpart or with somebody of another race that is just as qualified. And so that's a tough, that's tough to navigate. But again, with the entrepreneurship route, when you get in the room with other entrepreneurs that can understand and appreciate that journey, um, I think those are the best types of synergies.
Mm. Well, I agree with you. I think, in fact, I was processing also like last night. We were all getting together. We were doing stuff with stock options and trying to generate income from selling stock options, which is the coolest way to make money. And I did a survey, and I basically said, how many of you are making at least $1,000 a month doing what we're doing in here? And I think it was like 75, 80%. Somebody who was there last night, give me the numbers. I believe it was like 80, 83% of the people in the room were making like real money over $1,000 a month and extra. Was it 76%, Lance? Okay, thank you, Lance. Sorry, I knew it was somewhere around there, and I was super proud of that. And let me tell you what made me happy about this, Lawrence. And I think this is how we should think about collective economics in the Black community. Um, you know, capitalism, unfortunately, when it becomes toxic, we can call it toxic capitalism because not all capitalism has to be toxic. Toxic capitalism breeds sort of individual success. It breeds competition. It breeds this idea that I have to be number one and I can only do well if you're doing bad or if I'm doing better than you. Whereas you have collectivism, so that says, okay, let's all go make money, right? We're not here to be necessarily communist, socialists, or Marxists, right? We want to build free enterprise. We want to build wealth, but we want to build wealth for the masses, right? Like I love to go into spaces where I don't want to have to fight you in order for us to win. I want to, the best way to overcome it's just a tip for everybody in here, and I want to hear Lawrence's thoughts on this. But